have Professor K.V. Thomas, a special representative of the Kerala government in Delhi, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us, Professor K.V. Thomas. Unfortunate news coming in of Mr. Sitaram Yechury passing away. We are told that his condition had been critical over the last few days.
Yechury was a good friend of mine. We have been together in Delhi for more than 40 years. He was a strong communist, but for democratic principles, he was ready to make compromise. He is one of the leaders who gave shape to India Munnani. His loss is a great loss to the democratic force of the country. And as a communist, he never made any compromise with any divisive forces. His vision, his love, his affection was always attracted me. I remember him with love and affection.
Mr. K.V. Thomas, like you mentioned, he has left a void, especially in left politics, and he had worked a lot to bring in left politics at center stage, and he had been active from his student years. But you mentioned you were a good friend of his. Professor, what are the few incidents or any incident that you remember of him, especially something that defined his political career?
In the central hall of the parliament, there is a Yechury corner where we used to sit together, take a cup of coffee and discuss anything and everything. He was above above politics. He always loved people. He was with the working class, and he has come to my village in Kumbalangi in Cochin. We stayed together. So he was such a good man, a lovable man, but for principles he never compromised.
Okay, so you're saying he was somebody who was always on the ground. He had, in fact, also when he started off in politics as well, in emergency as well, during the emergency as well, though he was still a student at the JNU, he had been arrested. So he had been very active and very strongly involved in politics right from the start, isn't it?
Yes, he was a fighter. From the student days always he was a fighter, but a man who knows politics well. And as a parliamentarian, he will be always remembered. I remember he was in the Rajya Sabha for 2 terms. Then I was in the Lok Sabha. We used to meet in the Central Hall. He had a correct vision, a correct thinking about all issues.
Okay, all right. Professor K.V. Thomas, thank you for joining us. We have Hanan Molla also joining us. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Hanan Molla, an eloquent, very strong voice of the left, leaving a void in the left today. Sitaram Yechury passing away.
It's just very, very, very sad. And just for our party and for the left and for the democratic movement as a whole. From which Sitaram just passed away 2 minutes ago. You are under treatment there for some time.
In fact, he was one of the strongest voices of the left as well. So, Hanan Molla, we seem to be facing technical difficulties. I'll just come back to you in just a moment. Let me go back to my colleague Akanksha, who continues to stay live with us. Akanksha very fondly remembering Sitaram Yechury. In fact, the left leaders are also going on to say, Comrade Sitaram Yechury, for the work that he has done, he will always be remembered, and he has left behind a legacy.
Strong voice for the party as well as left, and also he had joined the student politics in 1974. A year later, he had joined the party. He was arrested in 1975 during the emergency Pratibha while he was still a student at JNU. And after that, he also became the Rajya Sabha member from West Bengal in 2005. So he has had illustrious political career, but definitely a very sad news coming. Just 3 weeks back, he was admitted because of lung infection. Now he has passed away. We spoke to leaders and they are all rushing to All India Institute of Medical Science AIIMS, and it remains to be seen when the last rites will be conducted. We are also hearing that the family of Sitaram Yechury is also present in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So it remains to be seen what is now taken by them.
Okay, all right. Stay with us, Akanksha. We have Rajiv Chandrasekhar, former Union Minister, also joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, this is a big void for the left and for politics. News coming in of Mr. Sitaram Yechury passing away.
Yes, it's obviously very sad. And I obviously knew him, and we were colleagues in Parliament. Especially when I was very young and new to Parliament. He was a senior member of Parliament at that time, and I had a very cordial relationship with him, and it's very sad that he's passed. And my deepest condolences to his party colleagues, his supporters, and his family.
All right, Mr. Chandrasekhar, I'm sure even if, politically you didn't agree, he was somebody, like you mentioned, you often interacted with. If you don't mind telling us, what was an interaction, something that will always stay with you, sir?
No, he was certainly not the quintessential leftist politician that you get to experience from Kerala. He was a gentleman, and he was certainly not off the cut of the cloth of violence or intimidation that you normally expect from a leftist or a Marxist. He was very, an absolute gentleman in Parliament. And I had the most cordial relationship with him, and certainly I have very fond memories of my interactions with him. And he will be missed in politics, and he will certainly be missed in the broader landscape of discourse that makes Indian democracy tick.
Okay, all right. Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, thank you for joining us. Remembering fondly, Comrade Sitaram Yechury, you just heard several left leaders as well, Rajiv Chandrasekhar as well, saying that we had several political differences, but he was somebody who was always good to work with. He was very eloquent in the floor of the House. We have MB Rajesh also on the phone line with us. Thank you for joining us, Mr. MB Rajesh. This is a loss, I'm sure, that will be felt in the political scape. Sitaram Yechury, one of the strongest voices of the left party, gone today.
Yeah, he was. It's a sad news, heartbreaking news for many of us. He was not only the strong voice of the left, but he was also the strong voice of secular and democratic forces of the country. He championed constitutional values. He championed the cause of the working class and the downtrodden. He always fought for their causes. And in a difficult time like this, he could have given much more contribution to our secular and democratic polity.
All right, Mr. Rajesh? Yes, go on.
Personally, for me, it's a huge personal loss also. I knew him since my college days, since my student days. And we all grew up under his leadership and guidance. When he was a member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha, I was a member of Parliament in Lok Sabha. And as a junior young MP, he taught us how to work as a communist inside the Parliament. How to take up the working class issues in Parliament, how to do the homework. So all this we learned from him. He was a role model for all of us. Okay,
role model, and I'm sure these are some of the lessons that you'll always carry with you, you and many others in the political scape. Thank you so much for joining us. Condolences coming in, cutting across party lines. We continue our live coverage after a short break. Stay with us.